Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this episode of the RLM podcast. I am your host, Eli Detter, and joining me in the studio today is none other than Rebecca Gerstein. Rebecca Gerstein, she is a friend of mine, and she is, she can introduce herself. Introduce yourself, Rebecca.
Hi, I'm Rebecca. I am Eli's friend, and I'm here to join him on his podcast and talk about a really interesting and enjoyable topic.
Yeah, so today we're going to focus around the importance of exercising, working out, exercising, eating right, all that stuff to take care of your body. That's something that I very heavily rely on. It's something that I very heavily do. I try my best to keep my body in the best shape that I can. Rebecca, I know that you are very focused on obviously taking care of your body in the same manner. Just share what your thoughts are on. What are your thoughts on taking care of your body, eating right, exercising, all that good stuff?
So I'll start from the beginning. I started working out about 4 years ago. I started off with cardio. That was my big thing, but I didn't really enjoy it. So I moved to weightlifting when I started in 10th grade for the Intro to Strength and Conditioning class, and that really got me into weightlifting. I found the joy. That was I weightlifted before, but other than that, that was my main class, and I really enjoyed it, and it really helped me see, it releases a lot of endorphins, and it just was really good for me and my mental health especially. So that's kind of the main reason for that. And I built a home gym at my house, and I use it almost every single day. It's been really beneficial, and I've gained a lot of muscle over the years as well, it's really amazing to see all your progress.
For sure.
And yeah, I don't really...
Well, I will share how I got into the whole world of working out. So my dad, he is a veteran. He used to be part of the U.S. Army, but that's kind of part of it, but also kind of not. When I was a kid, my dad would have me do push-ups and stuff like that as a kind of an alternative punishment. He would have me maybe go run a mile or a quarter of a mile, or he'd have me, do push-ups or sit-ups or burpees, and that was kind of how he introduced me to it. And then around the middle to end of 6th grade, he took me to this thing. He said, hey, I know that he had been doing workouts on Saturday mornings with a group of men, and he invited me, and I went, and I did this workout. We did this kind of Army PT style workout, and it was really fun. I was dying by the end of it because it was the first time I'd ever done a normal workout like that. But it was great, and that group is F3, and that group is a group that I am now a part of that group. I've been part of that group, since about 6th grade, so that's about 6 or 7 years. It's actually way more than that. But it's a really great group to be a part of. There's a bunch of people probably listening to this who are probably jumping out of their chairs at the fact that I mentioned F3 on the podcast. It's a great group to be a part of. It's a nationwide organization. There's even international areas all over the country, all over the world. It's amazing to be part of. But outside of that, I was like, well, I want to work out myself. I want to, obviously, everyone starts to work out because they want to get bigger. They want to get more muscle. They want to get stronger, because getting stronger does help you in a lot of ways in life. And that's kind of how I got into it. And then I kind of stopped for a bit. I wouldn't work out. I wouldn't go to work out, especially during the winter, because it was a lot harder for me to motivate myself to get up and, I didn't have the discipline. I didn't have the motivation to get up and work out in the middle of the winter when it was, 20 degrees outside. But I definitely have noticed that I've found it a lot easier to get up and work out. Of course, I do want to know what do you focus on? I know there are some people who when they work out, they go right to weights. And some people, I start with calisthenics, push-ups, sit-ups, all body weight stuff. That's how I got into it. Did you start with weights, or did you go from calisthenics to weights? How did you go?
So I didn't do calisthenics. I did just everything was body weight because I didn't have any weights at home and I wasn't able to join a gym at the time. So a lot of it was just a lot of cardio, and I am in dance, so that was also a form of exercise for me. But a lot of it was just heavy cardio. I would get maybe 5-pound weights and use that. And that was great for a while, but it didn't really benefit me. I was
Right.
just really worn out. I was really tired. It didn't really make me feel that great. I think it just wasn't the right type of exercise for me. So then I started with weightlifting, and you just automatically notice a difference in like
Right.
your mood and like everything. It was fun to like see your strength like get stronger, and like currently right now I'm really close to benching a plate, which is really exciting, and I think it's really awesome to like see how well your progress like
For sure.
progresses from me not being able to do that to me like barely being able to do 10 pounds on each side. So I think it's a lot about progress and the ability to see your growth. But calisthenics are really cool. I know that you do it, and you've gained a lot of muscle from it. It's pretty impressive.
It
Yeah.
I a lot of I mean, for those of you listening, you don't really necessarily know what I look like, but a lot of what I have is a lot built from, yes, I put in a lot of work to it, but I've also have been very fortunate with my genetics. But I think weightlifting is something that entices people more because, like you said, it's you can directly see exactly how much you're progressing. Because I mean, it's a number, right? You're one week you're lifting, maybe you're benching 100. Next week you're benching 115. Next week you're doing 125. I mean, it just keeps going up. And yeah, I think that's why when people say, "Oh, I want to start working out," the first thing they do is they're like, "Oh, I want to start benching, or I want to start, I want to start doing squats," because it's a number, and when you have a number that represents something for you, it seems a lot more beneficial, and in some cases, of course, it can be much more beneficial to you than just doing push-ups, right? Because push-ups, I mean,
Yeah, totally.
push-ups, that's a mental challenge. That's not
Mhm.
that's not really you can do as many push-ups as you really as possible. Of course, you can build tolerance to that, and so you don't feel pain as you do more push-ups. But I think that the reason the gym is so enticing to especially teens, especially young people, is because it is a number that we can see. It's a number that we can see grow or decrease. And in which case, when we see it grow or decrease, we can either add more or we can take away what we're doing. I think in any case, you should always do more. There's no reason you should
Yeah.
work out less unless you're obviously in pain or you're injured or something like that. In which take a break off of that muscle group or whatever it is. But I never think that you should really be like, oh, I'm gonna back off, weightlifting. I'm gonna back off exercising. No, never do that. You can always do more.
Yeah, totally.
I do want to. Do you have like a set like workout that you like to do, like a set routine that you do, or do you just kind of go about it?
So when I first started, I did a lot of online workouts. So it was a lot of programs. I was doing a program for some times. I switched between like YouTube programs, and I found that they were really helpful. I did like cardio, weight training, like leading weight training, and then sometimes I do like dance videos, just any way to get myself active. And I figured over time that once I started learning the exercises, I started to just build my own routine off of that. Currently, my routine is pretty weird because I have I work at Chick-fil-A right now, so my job is just pretty hefty and sometimes just not able to do my lifts and get the amount that I need. And sometimes honestly my motivation isn't the best, but I think discipline is 100%
Oh
the
yeah.
thing that gets you through it.
Motivation is how you get started. Discipline is how you finish.
Yeah.
It's not. People always like, oh, I'm unmotivated to get this done. No, you're not disciplined enough. That's why I hate it when people kind of ask me, they're like, oh, give me a bit of motivation. I'm like, dude, I can't do that for you. That's something you got to find yourself. If I give it to you, I'm not giving you motivation. I'm just giving you. I don't know what I'm really giving you. I'm giving you a couple words, a couple phrases to bounce around your mind. I'm not giving you any motivation. Motivation's got to come from yourself. True motivation is doing something when you don't feel like doing it, and that's also what discipline is. But motivation is more, you want something, and this is how you get it, and that's your motivation. Discipline is, I want something, I don't really feel like doing all that has to do it, but I'm going to do it anyways because I know what the end goal it is that I want. So yeah, like you said, discipline is way more important than motivation. That's why I don't want to be a motivational speaker. I want to be a disciplined speaker. I want to be someone who tells people, hey, I'm not going to tell you how to motivate yourself. I can't do that. I'm going to show you how to discipline yourself so that you can achieve your goals and achieve them in the right manner. Because there is a right way and a wrong way to achieve your goals, which is essentially, I mean, this is kind of straying away from the topic, but essentially, most conflicts are because people want the same thing, but they have very different ways of going about it. And of course, that's why we have all these, terrible things that happen. But back to weightlifting, all that stuff. What a lot of people, I do want to talk about something that I always have a problem with, the way people relate food and working out. Just because I don't like it that, you look on Instagram and there's hundreds upon millions upon people that talk about, oh, if you're going to work out like this, you have to eat this. If you're going to do this, you got to eat this. I disagree with that. I eat decently healthy. I try not to stuff my face with junk food just because I did that earlier. Not early this year, but at the end of around December, I was like every night. I mean, I was baking like cookies, and I was baking, chocolate chip cookies and cake and all that stuff. And I was like eating a piece of cake every night and some ice cream. And I was gaining a little bit of weight. Right? I looked at the card and I was like, I wasn't really working out that much, and I was still going up to like 170, 175, 180. And I was like, dang, I'm gaining weight and I'm not really doing anything right now. I need to start working out. I need to start doing stuff. But I realized it wasn't that, oh, I can keep eating this and work out more. I was like, hey, maybe I just need to stop eating cake and stop eating cookies and ice cream and stuff like that, and work out more, but also make sure that I eat a proper amount. It's important to have that good balance. You eat a good amount, you work out a good amount. All right, you should always be. I've never really. I think it's that you should burn more calories than you eat. That
Calorie
way.
deficit.
Yes. You don't want to have no energy. You want to expend energy and also intake a good amount of energy at the same time. Do you have a diet, a certain sort of like a food groups that you eat more than often or something like that?
So food has like always been a weird topic for me because when I first started lifting, I just would force myself to eat so much healthy foods. Like I just would not give myself balance. And then there was one point where I just didn't have any balance and I was just eating and indulging on things that just overeating on a lot of junk food and things that were not good for me, and I was gaining weight from it. But now I don't really have a specific diet because like I'm still a kid and like it's good to live your life and eat the food that you want.
Yeah.
So and like
Yeah.
when you're lifting, like when I'm being active, like I feel like it's not like it doesn't like get rid of all the junk food,
Right.
but like I'm not gonna just eat all healthy all the time. Like I had a cookie for lunch today,
Right.
like obviously, so I'm gonna have some balance, and I just try and tell myself that it's okay to, indulge on things
Oh yeah,
that
absolutely.
isn't like healthy, because let me tell you, my health freak self was very bad. It just was not good for me. So I think once you find like a healthy relationship with food, it just makes it easier for you to be active, and it just makes the whole journey more, like, not like super like, not stressful, but you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
I think, like I said, there are people who are like, oh, you shouldn't eat that cookie, you shouldn't eat that.
yeah,
I'm
totally.
like, come on, dude. Like, I want to eat the cookie. I'm gonna eat the cookie.
I'm gonna eat I'll
if
tell
if
you.
it's right there, and it's not like I'm not gonna eat 5 of them. I'm gonna eat one of them. Like, that's not sure. I mean, it's sugar and stuff. It's not. I don't need to eat it, but hey, I'm a kid. I can eat a cookie.
I will be eating
It is going to affect me much less than you really think it will. And that's why I dislike when people are like, oh, you gotta eat this, and this. Now, generally, I do eat pretty healthy. I eat rice, I eat chicken, I eat all that good stuff. I don't love vegetables, but I get a good amount of them. Right? I eat them when I have to. I eat them when I need to, and all that stuff. During the summer, I probably eat the healthiest. All right, I definitely eat the most during the summer. That's just because I work at a summer camp that feeds kids like 5,000 calories a day. But they're burning that much a day, so they're using that energy well. I definitely I believe in eating in moderation. Eat what you want when you want, but also pay attention to your body. Pay attention to how much your body can take. Pay attention to what your body's limits are. Don't eat more than you need to. I always try and kind of I do my best to get whatever I want for the meal in one sitting. right? Maybe I just load up my plate once, boom, don't have to go back, and I get a good amount of food to get. If there's like it's like a party or whatever, and they have the vegetables, the fruits, the meat, the whatever the side dishes are in the main course, whatever. I get all of it, eat what I want, and then I usually I finish my plate. I don't have to go up and get more. Then dessert comes, I eat dessert, get one serving of dessert, I'm done, and it's perfect. Like I'm not. People are like, oh my gosh, you got so much food. I'm like, yeah, but I don't have to go back and get more. I'm just going to eat this. This will fill me up. I know when my body's full. They always say don't ever eat past the point where your body's full. Your body will be full before you realize it. And I always try. That's why when I get a plate, I'll stop. I'll wait a little bit and see how my body feels after about 5-10 minutes. And if I'm still hungry, I'll go back and get more. Of course, you mentioned that you went kind of all healthy. That didn't really go well for you. What kind of foods were you eating, and what kind of made you realize that it wasn't really working for you?
Like healthy wise or
Yeah,
unhealthy?
just like health. I mean, both. I mean, you can be like, you were eating this, and you realized that this happened with your body or whatever.
I mean, when I was eating very healthy, my body definitely felt a lot better than it was if I was just having so much sugar throughout the day. So I feel like the healthy food, it gave me a lot of energy, but it wasn't necessarily, I didn't really enjoy it. Like I
Right.
feel like there's ways to make healthy foods good, and
Oh
that's what
yeah.
I that's what I found out. Like there's so many ways to incorporate healthier foods into like those quote unquote junk food. Like I make protein pancakes all the time, and they with chocolate chips obviously, and I always make sure that there's protein in there. I just put some extra stuff in there to get some extra protein, like something that you wouldn't even realize is there. Or like ways when there's something unhealthy, instead of having the regular pasta, I have like chickpea pasta.
Yeah.
And that kind of gives me more protein, and I'm still able to enjoy the foods I want. But I feel like that was really helpful because I didn't feel like I was just eating healthy all the time. Like I actually had a balance between
Right.
all that. Um, and then it just kind of went downhill because I was just like overeating on like everything, and it was just really not something I was comfortable with, and it just didn't make me feel good. So I just had to find that balance, and it just takes time, but once you're there, like, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so it's interesting. So both my parents are gluten free, which is always a pain when I bring home like something really good that I made at school, because then they're both like, "Oh, we're gluten free, we can't eat that." But it is really interesting. So they try their best to get gluten free pasta. I don't know if they eat gluten free. They don't focus too much. They don't like force me to eat gluten free. But when they make pasta, they make gluten free pasta. I love it. It's yummy. I eat it all the time. It's great. And it's healthier for you. I mean, it has less of the bad stuff that makes all the gluten stuff yummy. But it tastes good, and they're not obsessive about it. They're not like crazy about it. But they pay attention to their bodies and their health, and that's what's good. I know I can't really speak for my sister and my brother. I have no idea how they eat since they're not living in my in the house with me and my parents. But I know that my mom has always been very attentive to what's good to eat and what's wrong to eat, but also paying attention to the fact that we were kids, teenagers, and now young adults. And my mom doesn't really comment on what I eat. But she does like. She challenges me. I mean, I love that about my parents is that they challenge me and they're like, "Do you really need to eat another? Do you really need to eat more of this, cake or cookie, whatever it is?" They're like, "Do you really need to eat more? Or are you just good with that?" And I kind of sit there and like, "Oh, you know what? Maybe I'm just good with eating just one serving of this or whatever." And that's really important. It's having that balance between allowing yourself to have fun and also disciplining yourself, especially if you have a goal. If you have a goal of, hey, I really wanted to, I don't know, maybe I want to get to this weight. I want to drop weight or I want to gain weight. What's the best way to do that? And what's also the healthiest way to do that? Is the healthiest way to do that to eat a bunch of junk food and not work out? No, it's not, because you're just getting fat. And the moment you start working out and you're like, oh, well, I've gained this weight, now I can start working out. No, you're going to lose all that weight because that's fat. That's not going to turn into muscle. You got to lose the fat and gain the muscle. Now, again, I've been more than fortunate to have good genetics that allowed me to not necessarily have fat and just be able to learn to build muscle properly. Because there are, I believe, I don't believe in bulking, And a lot of people might disagree with me on that. I don't believe in bulking. I don't understand it. It confuses me. I also don't like wrestling for that reason because of the weight cuts and the weight stuff, all the weight stuff you have to do. I hate that. Um, but I do want to ask you, and you don't have to answer this is sensitive. Was there ever a time where you were kind of looking and you were like, oh, maybe you're at a certain weight that you didn't want to get to, or maybe you're looking at your body and just like, oh my gosh, I don't like this about my body. How am I going to change this? Was there ever a time you felt like that? And if so, how did you get through that? How did you change it? Whatever.
So as a kid, I was I was not the skinniest. I also just was very chubby, like from all the baby fat when I was a
Yeah.
kid. And that was definitely one of my biggest insecurities. My weight was actually not terrible. It was in the hundreds. But right now I weigh about 140. But you have to think about the muscle,
Right.
and muscle weighs a lot more than fat. So I didn't think of it as 140 being a bad weight.
Right.
I thought of it as being a weight that was, it kind of shows that my muscle is there, and that like that doesn't make me fat if I'm
Right.
overweight than what other people are. So I've definitely always been insecure about my chubbiness, but more about like my stomach fat. I think I just was really insecure about that. I never would wear like two-piece bathing suits because I was so worried about that, and
Right.
I was worried about like what people would think of me. And hasn't been easy. It's been something that I've really just tried to have the motivation and the discipline to really achieve, but it's not every single day is going to be the same.
Sure.
So yeah, I definitely, once I was able to get that, like now I feel more comfortable wearing the two-piece
Yeah.
bathing suits. It just fulfills me a little bit better. It makes me feel a little bit better inside. Um, yeah, I'm grateful for the amount of work I put in, but just because you have a little stomach fat or you have cellulite or all these things doesn't mean that you're not beautiful
Right.
inside and
Absolutely.
out, that you're still a beautiful person even if you have the certain flaws that you might not like. So I was like to think about that my flaws were, they might have been flaws to me, but other people, like, that still doesn't make you like not a
Right.
beautiful person,
Right.
not a good
Absolutely.
person. So yeah.
And yeah, like you said, just everyone has a different view of beauty. I mean, it's beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Um, I know personally, I mean, right now I'm 5'8", 175 pounds. I put that into my BMI scale and it tells me I'm overweight, just because I am I am
Yeah.
I'm proportionate. Like I'm not fat. I'm proportionate. I'm just considered overweight for some weird reason. But I take like you said. You gotta look at your body and realize what do you like about it. It's not about what the world is saying. Oh, this is right. This is bad. Whatever. And there are certain things, of course, that if you have in your body or you have on your body, it's not good, and you need to figure out how to get how to take care of it. But at the same time, you have to look at your own body and realize that's your body. It's not someone else's. It's yours. How do you want to take care of it? How do you want to treat it and all that good stuff? And of course, I've gone through many different seasons where I was like, oh my gosh, I want to get heavier. I want to get heavier. Or I was like, oh, I want to get lighter. I want to drop weight. And it's crazy. I'm you know, it's I don't think it's insecurity. I think it's simply I think for too long I paid too much attention at what the world said was right and wrong when it came to your body and all that stuff. Like, and of course you see all that stuff on social media, all the pictures and all that stuff, and that's where you gotta kind of be like, well, I'm not gonna look like that. I don't want to look like that. That looks painful. That looks like that with a lot of there was a lot of work that wasn't all legitimate, which I do want to get into in a second. But the most important thing is that it's your body. It's not someone else's. So I just want to say that. I do want to talk about something. People go to the gym. People are into protein, pre-workout, all that good stuff, creatine, all that good stuff. What are your opinions on it? Do you think people should use it? Do you personally use it? All that.
I have never taken any supplements, and I don't plan to, because I actually have been able to gain a lot of significant muscle without using the supplements. Just have to put in the work for it.
Yeah.
The only thing I do is I literally just have protein powder. Because sometimes I can't get the amount of protein I need in a day, which honestly I don't think I meet half the time, but it's fine. So protein powder has been like amazing. I put it in like everything I can. It's just been really helpful with that. But Yeah, the people that tell me they're on creatine or like some people tell me they're on steroids, like I'm not gonna judge. Like, no, I'm not gonna judge you, but like you don't need those to build muscle. And I
Right.
think over time, like it might take a little bit longer than you want, but like I was able to grow a lot of muscle without using the supplements, and it just showed me that you really don't need it. And like they're not always also the best for you. They have
Right.
a lot of effects, like side effects, but I mean, that's just being the
Yeah.
negative. But I mean, if you want to take creatine, absolutely go ahead.
Yeah.
If that's what you want to build your muscle and have a great,
Yeah.
journey with I don't know what I'm saying, but anyways, yeah.
The only thing I've ever done, I did pre-workout last year. I took one.
Oh, I will not take pre-workout either. I've never taken
I,
pre-workout.
I did one dry scoop of pre-workout at lunch, and it was the worst decision I ever made. I was buzzing all for like an hour and a half afterwards. My arms looked like I was about to like if I would have had a paper cut, I would have bled out. I mean, it was I know it, and even that was just like, yeah, I don't need to ever do that stuff again. I mean, it's like you said. I mean, you worded it very well. If you take it, I'm not going to judge you. I'm not going to say, oh, you're not a real, you don't really want to work out. You just want to look good and all that stuff. No. If that's what you think's for you, fine. You do that. I don't care. Just don't shove it in other people's faces, one. And two, don't claim to be all natural and then be like, oh, well, I take this just to shore up the, just to add whatever I miss. And it's just like, no, you either be natural or you be like, hey, yeah, I've used performance-enhancing drugs, whatever. I myself have never used performance-enhancing drugs. I've never done any of that stuff. Of course, that would be illegal at my age. I've never even done creatine, never done pre-workout. I've never even done protein powder. Simply, I just, it's too much work for me. If I'm going to be 100% honest, it's more work than I'm willing to put in for that. I stick to eating my protein. I stick to drink, or, if I want to get a protein shake, fine, I can get a protein shake, whatever. But I never really understood. Like before about a year ago, I never even knew what half that stuff was. I mean, people said steroids. Like that was the only thing I knew. I was like, oh, steroids. Didn't really know what steroids really were. I just knew there was something that you put in your body to make yourself bigger. All I really knew. And then of course started working out, started seeing all this stuff. I was like, wow, this is kind of terrible, I mean, you look at bodybuilding competition, and it's like there are some people who are natural and they look amazing, and it's awesome. I'm like, I want to look like that. I want to look like that dude because that dude's real. That dude looks good. He doesn't look all unproportions body. He looks fine. Bodybuilding is a great sport, but I think there are definitely things that could change in it. I think there's definitely things that could be done to make it more. I don't know what the word is. Honest. I don't know what the right word is there, but I love the fact. One, I love the fact that people are bold enough to put their bodies on display for the whole world. I mean, kudos to them. But two, it is a good sport. It's a competition to see who has the better body. I'm totally fine with that. Doesn't bother me in one bit. It's just you got to keep your integrity. You got to be honest and don't lie to people to make yourself look good. We have these amazing vessels to carry our spirit in. We got to take care of them. We can't allow them to get ruined by our own selfish desires. Take care of your body, eat well, brush your teeth, take showers regularly. Don't lose sight of what you have, especially because it can be destroyed very quickly. I mean, people get cancer all the time. People get diseases all the time. Some diseases, they can't work out anymore. They can't really move that much. Even in it's not severe as cancer, but what's happened to my mom this past couple of months, obviously for those of you who don't know, she's been going through withdrawal from antidepressants. She is getting better. She's getting a lot better. But I mean, even that, she wasn't doing a whole lot for a couple of months. She was, laying in bed, or she was just going for walks or stuff. And that's great. That's great that she kept moving, that she kept doing stuff. She tried as much as possible to be active. And the better that she gets, the more that she's doing, doing yard work and all that good stuff. And it's awesome to be able to do stuff with my mom. Again, it's one of the most beautiful things in the world. It's truly amazing. We got to take care of our bodies. We got to take care of the vessels that we're given, vessels that we're born with, vessels that we can grow and change and shape. Quit smiling like a Cheshire cat over there. Jesus Christ. But
he's chatting it up over here.
I care a lot about our bodies. I think people don't care about them enough, and that's one of the things that breaks my heart. It doesn't ever. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be the simplest thing, but you still got to take care of it. No matter how that looks for you, take care of your body. Dress well, eat well, sleep properly. Get your good whatever amount of hours is right for you. Get that many hours of sleep. Eat well, work out. Don't work out excessively. Work out as much as your body can, but also realize that your body has limits. None of us are Superman. Thank God.
I'm Superman. I'm kidding.
But I mean, it is truly wonderful, the fact that technology has got us this far. That I mean, just human innovation has got us this far to be able to do the stuff that we can. So yeah, I mean, gosh, I almost get tearful whenever I talk about that stuff because like I said, it's one of the things that breaks my heart is when people don't take care of themselves. Just because I went through that for a very long time in my life. I went through that. I know that I know other people have gone through it, and it truly does break my heart to see someone not take care of themselves.
I agree.
So to all of you out there, I know I'm kind of getting in my feelings here, but take care of yourselves. Don't let yourself slip away from that.
Yeah, take care of yourself. Make sure you're happy.
Yeah.
Feed yourself, eat food, get some exercise, get out in nature, get to, experience what the world has to offer, and, you are amazing and you deserve to be here. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah. I'm like a poet. You can follow me on Instagram and I'm chewing gum. That's really embarrassing. Okay.
Thank you all for listening.
Yeah,
Rebecca, thank you for being in the studio with us. Thank you for speaking on the podcast about
Not
your
a
thoughts and opinions.
problem.
Again, you can find this podcast on multiple different platforms, Spotify, YouTube, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, many other platforms. You can also find Rebecca Gerstein at Rebecca Gerstein on Instagram. You can find me at Phantom Phoenix on Instagram. You can find the podcast at RLM Podcast. Be sure to follow, be sure to share with your friends and family. Of course, we do have some awesome high-profile episodes that have been coming out. That one that came out a couple days ago, and one that's coming out in a couple days. So keep an eye out. Keep an eye out for posts. Keep an eye out for all that information. It's so awesome that we have reached actually over 100 followers, which is amazing. I saw that it literally went from like 99 yesterday to 100 today, 105 today, and that was awesome. So thank you all for thank you all for the support. It's been an awesome 8 months. 7 months. Thank you all for the support. Thank you for listening, and we hope you have a wonderful day.